This is Hannibal from the Hannibal TV.com and the biggest NXT versus AEW Wednesday Night Wars night in theory took place last night as AEW presented Fyter Fest, which is normally a specialty show, versus NXT's Great American Bash. This is going to be a 2-week thing. This week was the first night of it, but neither show could crack a 0.3 rating. NXT won in viewership, but they lost in the 18 to 49 demographic rating. NXT did 792,000 viewers, but a 0.22 rating, with AEW doing only 748,000 viewers, but a 0.29 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. So as far as viewership goes, it is 31 wins for AEW in the Wednesday Night Wars, 7 wins for NXT, and 1 tie. So that's pretty bad. You guys build up Fyter Fest versus the Great American Bash. Great American Bash used to be one of NWA's biggest shows, and you get 0.29 to 0.22. But the competition's getting closer. We're seeing AEW take some hits here over the past several weeks. NXT also won in viewership last week. In other news, we reported not too long ago about this death of Hana Kimura, who was a Japanese female wrestler on Stardom, and she was also part of a reality TV show. There was apparently an incident on this reality TV show that, according to her mother has now come out and said that it was set up by the reality TV show, where one of the house guests accidentally ruined Hana Kimura's ring outfit, and Hana snapped at him, and that led to the social media backlash against her that caused her to commit suicide. But in all reality, there was obviously deeper problems there. Because you could really just turn off social media if it's that bad. She probably needed counseling. But all of that negative feedback was for nothing, because reality shows are fixed. And Hana's mother has come out and said that that whole situation was planned by the producers of the reality show. So the haters were hating on her for nothing. In fact, the producers apparently wanted to slap the guy that did her laundry, but she refused to do the slap. So she was even nice about it in that way. So unfortunate situation with her passing. Dave Meltzer reported on that news last night about the confirmation that the angle on the reality show that got her all the heat was fixed. And apparently that reality show is pretty much finished now. John Fascietta tipped me $5. Thanks a lot, John. He says Alvarez and Meltzer are on suicide watch. Their team lost after openly mocking the NXT card. It is true, John. As you know, I do listen to the Wrestling Observer radio shows, as everyone knows, because I try and report on the news for you, and I pick and choose what I hear. But the Wrestling Observer and pretty much all dirt sheets that I'm aware of are very, very biased towards AEW. I'm probably the most neutral reporter out there. I don't care who wins or loses, but they act like AEW is the second coming of wrestling, and they're getting 0.2 ratings. I can't stand the AEW product, other than a few things that I've seen. I might check it out again someday, but pretty much all I watch is the Twitter stuff. But too much gymnastics. I've never been a gymnastics fan. I've never been like a fan of people diving on diving boards. And when you see these moves of these dives that look so fake and phony and set up, it just loses my interest. Will Barron tipped me $5 as well. Thank you. I'll be buying a protein shake tonight at the gym for sure. There was some other news. There was more about the Sasha Banks, Sammy Guevara thing. I did comment the other day that, yes, it was a really dumb thing that Sammy Guevara said about Sasha Banks. He used the expression he wanted to rape her. I'll be honest with you, Sasha Banks looks like she could kick Sammy Guevara's ass in a shoot. But I think anyone listening to that, and this is a podcast that somebody dug up. This is not something he said recently. He said that back in 2016, prior to there even being an AEW in existence. He said that he wanted to rape her, as if, using the expression as if he wanted to have sex with her. Rude comment. And I mentioned that he could probably sue AEW over lost wages if he wanted. However, obviously, they probably wouldn't renew his contract, and they probably wouldn't give him continue this push. He was Jericho's tag team partner if he would sue them. But if there was a union in pro wrestling, Sasha Banks already accepted his apology. He said it before AEW was even formed. So why is he being punished? I just think it sets a bad example for more trolls to dig up more shit on people and have them fired. You can't revolve your company around trolls, because trolls are losers. Let's face it. They're losers that have shitty lives, that are miserable in their lives, and they want to bring other people down. Now, I could understand if he said that recently, well, he was under AEW contract, but he didn't, and I don't think it was right. I am just saying he would have a case to try and recover his loss of wages for the suspension, but there's no unions in wrestling, and that shit wouldn't have flown if there was unions. And by the way, Cody Rhodes has publicly stated that Sammy Guevara is going to return to AEW a better person out of all of this. Bonnie Las Vegas tipped me $5. Or Ronnie Las Vegas. Sorry, Ronnie. He says AEW stinks. They promote Cody as a real fighter, but he's built like a twink. He recently went over Jake Hager, who's a real man. What a joke. I believe they wasted Jake Hager in AEW. They could have used him a lot better than putting him in Jericho's comedy troupe. They also had Harry Smith's old tag team partner, Lance Hoyt. I think he still goes under that. Lance Archer, maybe. Whatever his name is, they had him job to Cody Rhodes way too soon. And then after he did the job, that picture that he took with Mike Tyson, Cody Rhodes, Arn Anderson, Tony Khan, all smiling together, it kind of, I think, really took the steam out of Lance Hoyt, who could have had a lot more potential. I won't read some of your comments because I am self-employed, but I don't want to get myself in too much trouble or offend anyone. I try and be as neutral as I can. Sam Lentz says, we all lose the ratings war when the content is such garbage. I didn't watch anything from either. No, actually, I did watch the NXT highlights, and I don't know. Sasha Banks is fairly attractive. One thing I will admit about wrestling is the women are attractive overall. That's the best part about wrestling on TV today for me. But no, I won't make some comment like Sammy made. I'll just say I find Sasha Banks attractive. Therefore, I enjoyed watching the highlights for that reason. But that's about all I like watching wrestling for these days, is admiring the beauty of some of these gorgeous females that are employed by the various companies. Ralph Vaquero says both shows suck. Orlo Myers Something about you drink Mike's Hard Lemonade. I don't get it. I haven't had Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's full of sugar. I haven't had it for so long. DK Menace 1990 says AEW fans are not happy about the Sammy Guevara situation. Ping 222 says, if Bob Holly worked snug with you, would you work snug back or shoot on him? If anyone's ever seen me wrestle, I'm a hard-hitting wrestler. That's how I was taught to wrestle. So I always hit hard. Some people don't like it, and some people will confuse hard-hitting with dangerous, but I am not dangerous. Tyson Kidd actually tweeted the other day of how safe he always felt wrestling me back in Stampede Wrestling. But if you piss me off, I can definitely stretch you. But I would rather fight somebody outside the ring than inside the ring. I would rather finish the match. Like I told this story, I posted a clip from the Whip Show podcast that I appeared on this channel. The full interview is on my second Devon Nicholson channel, but I posted a clip yesterday or this morning, I guess, about my experiences with WWE. And I told the story in that was when I had my tryout that I actually got signed from, someone kept punching me in the ear. Legit. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. And I lost my hearing for a few seconds. And when they rang the bell at the end of the match, my whole head was ringing. And I snapped and I asked him to go outside. But I finished the match. They even said it when the agents critiqued the match, that I made the guy look good. And yeah, I still made him look good in the match, even though he was stiffing me. But after the match, I wanted to go outside. And for the people that didn't watch the rest of it, they told me not to snap like that again, but they still gave me the contract, which I lost due to medical reasons. For the people that said, oh, you should have talked to him nicely after about stiffing you. Have you guys ever been fucking punched in the ear and felt how bad it is and then actually lose your hearing for like 10 seconds? I don't think you're going to be so kind. So Woody Eyeball says he loves my channel. Daniel Alexander says, Great American Bash 2020 report. Well, it's dropped a long way from the football stadiums that the NWA used to have in the 1980s for the Great American Bash. Which, by the way, I've heard AEW whining and bitching publicly about WWE being aggressive and putting the Great American Bash against Fyter Fest. And the Great American Bash was Dusty's baby, and it makes Cody sad that they're using that. You're in competition, whether you want to believe it or not. WWE wants their wrestlers to be storytellers, entertainment. They may as well call themselves World Storytelling Entertainment, but you're in competition. AEW is putting together Fyter Fest. What are they going to do? Just lay down? Or are they going to create counter programming? Any business is going to do that. If I was going to run a show in a town and someone else ran a show in the same town, I would definitely load my card as much as possible to win the ratings. So to say that you're whining and complaining that created a big show to counter Fyter Fest, I don't get it. All AEW executives do is whine, it seems like. Chris Lee says Butterbean was famous for knocking guys out by hitting them in the ears with his hard hands. I watched a fake Butterbean MMA match against Tom Howard the other night. Look it up. They worked the cage. And we all know Mark Coleman's done it. Various people have done it. But it made me think, like, you know, the Conor McGregor last match he had against Gunnar, man, have I met Natty's sister? She has two sisters, Jenny and Muffy. I did meet Muffy back in the Stampede and Matt Rats days because I believe Muffy was actually in Matt Rats. Jenny, I did not meet, and I really did not like her boyfriend, so I never met her, and she wasn't really hanging around the wrestling, so I didn't make a point of meeting her. Natty, I was basically friends with because she trained with me, and I was good friends with TJ. Dirt Mark says, bro, calm down. I don't know if you're talking to me or one of the commentators, but people don't watch this fucking channel to see a calm person talking. They want to see emotion and anger and confrontation and violence.